Mr. Blanc, I'll begin with you. The Inter-Services Intelligence Directory, ISI, has come under intense scrutiny for its alleged ongoing links with and even material support for Islamic militant/terrorist groups operating in Pakistan, perhaps including the Haqqani network of Afghan insurgents. What's your assessment of the security, intelligence, and political roles played by the ISI? Does that organization play a double game with the United States, as many assume is the case?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think that what we've seen most recently in Pakistan with the North Waziristan operation is a real disruption of all insurgent and militant activity in Pakistan, including the Haqqani network. Now, that is not to say, and it remains the case, that Afghan-focused militants continue to operate from Pakistani territory, and that is to the detriment of Afghan security, it's to the detriment of our security, it's to the detriment of Pakistan's security. The Pakistani authorities, all Pakistani authorities, including intelligence authorities, military authorities, civilian authorities, have repeatedly said to us that they will prevent the reconstitution of these disrupted groups as their operations continue and conclude. And it's part of our continuing dialogue with Pakistan to make sure that that's the case. So we are very focused on making sure that the disruption that we've seen over the last few months becomes a more permanent fact.
Thank you. It's a nice answer, but I'm not sure if you answered my question, but I won't press you on that. Let me turn to you on this, Mr. Swells. I really believe that if the international community does not continue to disrupt and dismantle drug trafficking in Afghanistan and Pakistan, the economic development, stability, and rule of law assistance we've provided there all these years will become null and void. You mentioned in your testimony that you will continue to pursue a collaborative and productive relationship with the Pakistani government to support DEA efforts. Can you discuss the state of your agency's relationship with the Pakistani government and the extent of cooperation you receive from local law enforcement? Rampant corruption is known to be a huge problem in virtually every sector in Pakistan. So how does that affect your ability to interdict and shut down drug trafficking networks?
Our relationship with Pakistan, as you all know, has been prickly, prickly, difficult,
tricky. Okay.
But the DEA has always had a relationship with the anti-narcotics force of Pakistan. We have a vetted team that we use, that we work with. Recently, we got authorization to open our office in Karachi. Of course, as you probably know, 45 to 50% of the heroin produced in Afghanistan comes through Pakistan down to Karachi and then out the Makran coast. That's part of our containment program. We have worked really hard, not only with the Pakistanis, but with all Afghanistan's partners to build the capabilities to contain the flows going across the Afghan borders. The Pakistanis are working hard with us to look at those organizations. We are working not only in Afghanistan, Pakistan, but in Central Asia and also in East Africa, where a lot of the stuff ends up on dhows on the Makran coast and go down to East Africa and get offloaded in Tanzania and in Kenya. So we have a presence in these areas. We have vetted teams. We've established vetted teams, and we'll continue to do that. The vetted teams gives us an immediate capability to deal with the investigations that we need and deal with the problem, but also has a long-term institution building, capacity building capability.
Thank you. I've only got about a minute to ask my question and get a response. Let me come back to you if I can, Mr. Blanc, on a different question. GAO recommended in 2012 that the State Department direct the U.S. mission in Pakistan to enhance its counter-IED performance measures to cover the full range of U.S.-assisted efforts. I understand that this recommendation remains open. Can you explain why there has been so little action on this, and share with us what steps, if any, the State Department plans to take to address these recommendations that would serve to benefit U.S. soldiers and our allies in Afghanistan and development efforts in Pakistan as well? I think we all know that that's one of the most dangerous things that we faced in both Iraq and Afghanistan, and that's IEDs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And actually, there's a report out today from JAIDO, because this is the counter-ID effort goes across both of our missions and a number of military organizations. And if I may, I'm just going to refer to some of the specifics in the report, because actually there's some good news here. It is assessed that the actions of the government of Pakistan and Pakistani industry are steadily decreasing the amount of HME material necessary for IEDs available to the insurgency, increasing the cost of IED components, and forcing the insurgency to extend its supply line deeper in Pakistan, making it more vulnerable to essentially Pakistani efforts. Information has become available that insurgent forces are having difficulty obtaining the IED precursors that used to be more easily available on the market. And the lack of availability is likely linked to the voluntary ban on the sales of some of these materials in Baluchistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa by Pakistan's sole producer of one of the key precursors, Pak Arab. We can submit the rest of this report to you for the record. Your staff probably already have it. But where this broadly points is that the whole of government effort that we've undertaken with both embassies, with the Department of Defense, I think is actually showing results on the counter-ID effort.
Thank you. My time's expired, but if you could make the report available to the committee, we'd appreciate that, and then all members would have access to it. And as I say, my time has expired.